You know what time it is. Let's see what books I'm buying this week. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. On this channel, I talk comics. If you like comics, consider subscribing. This is the latest in the series I like to call What I'm Getting, where I take a look at the books coming out this week. I tell you what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list. I'm going to walk in the store and make a game day decision on. So this week, a lot of books. I'm very close to my budget. Actually, I might be over a little bit, but hey, I won't tell if you don't tell. I definitely love starting with the book that I'm most excited for. Let me pull up my list so I can tell you what I'm grabbing. But first, I have to give a huge shout out to channel sponsor Organic Priced Books. Now, I don't cover collected editions on this series, but we definitely do a lot of collected editions on this channel. And Organic Priced Books is having a summer sale. That's right, a summer sale. From now until June 30th, you can get an extra 14% off select items. And when I say select, I mean a ridiculous amount of items. Pretty much everything that's on hand in the warehouse is on sale right now because OPB is about to move and they're clearing stuff out. So look, you can get all three Batman by Grant Morrison omnis. They're already listed at a price of $50, which is a steal in itself, right? Extra 14% off. Just use the code BJKICK Summer Sale. You can get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hardcover editions. There's a lot. Listen, just look at the screen. A whole bunch of collected editions. Extra 14% off with the coupon code BJKICK Summer Sale. Don't say I never gave you anything. Now, thanks again to Organic Price Books for sponsoring the channel and what I'm getting. Now, today, I got quite the list. There are a lot of books that I'm excited about. And I'm trying to be good because this Friday I'm going to Heroes Con. So I'm going to need like every coin that I can save. So let's just go ahead and get into it. The book I'm most excited for this week is from DC Comics and Milestone Media. This is Duo number 2. Duo is written by Greg Pak. And I don't remember who's doing the art. Who's doing the art? Is it Koi Fam? I believe it's Koi Fam. But anyway, Duo is a play off of Zombie a little bit. So if you read the original Zombie series by John Rosen, then you're familiar with Dr. David Kim. Well, in issue 1 of Duo, they kind of just reworked that origin story. So, whatever. I can spoil it. It's been a month, and if you're looking for issue 2, you got to know what happened in issue 1, right? So, Dr. David Kim, he's a scientist. He's engaged to his fiance. I forgot her name. Kelly Vu. David Kim, Kelly Vu. Anyway, he's engaged to Kelly. They're scientists. They've got a groundbreaking discovery that they're working on. And, you know, they've got their rich benefactors and all that. Well, something goes wrong. David gets fused with Kelly. Kelly's mind, or Kelly's consciousness, is in David's head. Oh, and also the nanotechnology they're working on basically is a part of David, is one with David now. And he's a hero. He's now a superhero. He's got super abilities. It's very scientific. It's not as supernatural as the old Zombie series. But either way, it was a very thrilling first issue. I loved like just the costume for one. I love the costume. But I also love what was set up as far as like who our big bad is and how that team is being assembled. Really interesting stuff, and for those reasons, I'm very excited to get into issue number 2. Now, this was tough because there are a lot of good books coming out this week, but Duo number 2 has a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. And since we're talking about Milestone, let's go ahead and continue talking about DC Comics, where the first book on the pull list is Batman Superman World's Finest, number 4. I don't think I read issue 3. I know in issue 3 they were like going to like hell to chase a villain, but I don't think I actually read that. But I was enjoying the Robin and Supergirl team up, and I definitely need to go back and read issue 3 before we get into issue 4. But Batman Superman World's Finest is written by Mark Waid with art by Dan Mora, so it's a very beautiful book to look at, and I like that it's a nice self-contained story. There are so much there are so many multiverse spanning titles in the DC universe right now, especially now that we're in the middle of Dark Crisis. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I've been enjoying the self-contained nature of Batman Superman World's Finest. So definitely got to go back and read issue 3 so I can be ready for issue 4 this week. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. Now, the next book on my DC pull list is a brand new #1. Do I need to start a new series on the pull list? Probably not. I'm having a hard enough time finishing the series that are already there. It's like putting too much food on your plate. Like, finish what's in your mouth, guy. But anyway, it's Black Adam, #1. And why am I buying it? Maybe I'm excited for the movie. I've actually never read a Black Adam book. But if I were going to read a Black Adam book, I'd be excited if it were written by Christopher Priest. So, yeah, Black Adam #1, written by Christopher Priest. Sure. 12-issue maxi series? Sure. Art by Rafa Sandoval? Sure. Sign me up. All those things sound amazing. I don't know what to expect, but I expect it'll be good. So Black Adam #1 is on the pull list with a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. Next up, speaking of multiverse spanning titles, Dark Crisis is in full effect, and this week is the week of the tie-ins, starting with Dark Crisis Young Justice #1. Look, I just read Dark Crisis #1. It's a 7-issue series. Basically, from now until December, we're going to be getting Dark Crisis and its tie-ins. So let's just get used to it. Basically, the Justice League is dead. And in the Dark Crisis issue from last month, 2 weeks ago, whatever, in Dark Crisis, you've basically got John Kent trying to assemble a Justice League. And he's got varying levels of success. But it's pretty clear that we're going to end up with like a team of like sidekicks, legacy characters, and, maybe B, C-list characters, i.e., 52, who are going to end up saving the day and saving the Justice League. So I expect that Dark Crisis Young Justice #1 is going to be a pretty essential tie-in to the series. I think Young Justice is going to have a big role in the Dark Crisis, and I like, books with young leads, so I'm buying it. Anyway, Dark Crisis Young Justice #1 is got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. And the next book on the list is another tie-in. This is Flash, issue 783. The Flashes are always important to Crises because they can run and go back in time because they ran super fast or something like that. I don't know how Wally is going to be important to the Dark Crisis, but he is one of the more optimistic people in the Dark Crisis main book. We'll see. We'll see how these tie-ins unfold. They're either going to be really important or not so much at all. But Flash 783, I love the Flash series when it's not being roped into, multiverse spanning events. Hopefully it doesn't let me down. Fingers crossed. Issue 783's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. Next up is the book that broke my budget for the week. This is long awaited. This is from DC Comics and Milestone Media. Milestones in History #1. Now, this book was originally billed as like the Milestone Black History Month special. This was going to be an 80-page giant, and still is. It's a one-shot sort of anthology of sorts where the heroes from the Milestone universe walk you through real-life Black history events being illustrated by some of the top names in comics art. So that's really cool. So you got stories by people who have written comics, but also maybe are big in like other Black writing spaces. Like, for example, a name that stuck out to me was Michael Harriot, who formerly wrote for The Root or Griot or both. But he does these think pieces. And he's got like these deep dives on history of Black history on Twitter. I love them. So Michael Harriot writing like a history that's going to be sort of narrated by Static or Icon or Rocket, right? These are exciting things. Anyway, you don't have to sell me on anything, Milestone. I'm picking it up. I'm actually picking it up twice because it's got a cover price of $9.99. It is an 80-page giant, so it's worth that price. I mean, to see Prince illustrated by Ray Height. Anyway, I'm getting this cover A, but also, oh wait, I pointed over there. It's over here. I'm getting this cover A, but I'm also grabbing this cover B. Now, this cover B had been floating around DC as just an image. And I was like, what is this going to be used for? Where's the poster? Can I buy it? And it wasn't for sale anywhere. But now it's going to be the variant cover for Milestones in History. And I love it. This Doug Braithwaite art is just dope. You got Static. You got Rocket. I'm not even looking at it right now, but I'm pretty sure Fade's on there. And I think Hardware was on it as well as Icon. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but I know I need that picture. And so I'm buying both covers of Milestone History. It's got a cover price of $9.99. Getting them both. And the next book on the pull list is Nightwing, issue 93. I got really behind on Nightwing. I think the last issue I read was like 90, the first half of the Wally West team up. And now we're on 93. I got to get it together. But we're back in Bloodhaven. I think this is called the Battle for Bloodhaven Part 2. So now that the Nightwing and Wally West team up is done, you got Nightwing, you got Blockbuster, and it's a big confrontation. Hopefully it's good. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for my DC Comics pull list. Now, not including the variant that I already told you I'm buying, my DC Comics are going to cost me $34 this week. That's a heavy week, even for DC. You know my pull list is always DC heavy, but still. Let's move on to Marvel Comics, where the first book on my pull list was a very, very close second for the most excited this week. But anyway, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 4. Yes, that's right. Amazing Spider-Man, written by Zeb Wells. I almost said Cody Wells. Zeb Wells, art by John Romita Jr. Here's what I'll tell you. This art by John Romita Jr. has been getting better and better with each issue. That's no exaggeration. Also, this is my favorite cover, like, since John Romita started doing the covers. So it's got that going for it. But anyway, the last issue was very action-packed. I mean, if by action you wanted Spider-Man to just get beat to a bloody pulp, that issue had that. Issue 3 was really exciting. We got a bit of an origin for Tombstone. You can kind of take that or leave that. I mean, kind of the origin of like every bully in every movie ever. But I really, really enjoyed just kind of seeing like, all right, the stakes for Peter Parker is high, to quote De La Soul. And I'm excited to see how's he going to get out of this. Of course, we're hurtling toward Legacy number 900, which will come in issue 6. So we're not far. I'm expecting some good moments in this. I'm expecting issue 5 to be really exciting and issue 6 to be just incredibly bombastic. But we'll see. Let's start with issue 4. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. Now, the next 2 books on my pull list are X-Men related. And I got to tell you, so I spent an inordinate amount of time this weekend getting caught up on all the X-Men books that I'm picking up. So Immortal XMen and X-Men Red and X-Men and Wolverine. Why are they all called the same thing? But anyway, the first book on my pull list is the Immortal XMen number 3. And basically in Immortal XMen, there was a lot of excitement going around, and we found out in issue 2 that Mr. Sinister has been up to something. And I'm very excited to see how that turns out. Now, I was hoping that when I read all these X-Men books, I would be able to find these distinct differences between all the X-Men titles that I've got on my list, so that I could decide which sort of adventure I actually wanted to go on, which branch of the Krakoa universe, if you will. And honestly, they've all given me a little bit of the same vibes, but in very different ways. So Immortal X-Men very much deals with the Quiet Council, the ruling body of Krakoa. Every decision that they make feels like it's super important, as it should, because they're the government. But it's not like if you're expecting just some boring parliamentary procedure book, this ain't that. There's action. This book is action-packed, And again, Mr. Sinister is up to something that I think is going to change a lot. And honestly goes all the way back to Hoxpox, where I don't want to spoil it. But read Immortal XMen. I like it, and I'm excited to see where issue 3 goes. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. Next up is X-Men, issue number 12. So if Immortal X-Men deals with more of like the Quiet Council, X-Men proper is very much like your typical action book where in each issue they're going to go on like a new mission and sort of save the day. Well, Jerry Duggan's been doing like a great sort of underlying tale woven between all these story arcs about the Krakoan secret, the secret of resurrection, possibly getting out. Cyclops died and had to or fake his death, honestly, and assume a different identity when he came back, all to protect the secret of resurrection. And it looks like it might come out. We're one issue away from the Hellfire Gala, and I think that's where it's going to come out. If you remember, I don't want to be spoiling things, but if you read the Free Comic Book Day issue, it looks like Moira McTaggart is going to be a surprise guest at the Hellfire Gala, and stuff's going to hit the fan. And between now and then, X-Men is actually an exciting book too. And I also read X-Men Red. It's not coming out this week, but they're all exciting. It's a great time to be an X-Men fan, if not a little bit exhausting, because there's not a clear direction for each book. So that sucks. But for now, I'm still enjoying X-Men. X-Men number 11, or excuse me, X-Men number 12 is out this week with a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. And that's it for my Marvel books. If I just stick to the list, my Marvel books are going to cost me $12 this week. Not bad. Not bad. Only 3 books. Now let's move on to the independent, the creator-owned, the smaller publishers. Let's not bury the lead. There's only one book there, and that is Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 9. Now, you know why I buy Gunslinger Spawn? Because it always looks good, it's always action-packed, and it's always a quick read. In the last issue, Gunslinger really took it to a dude. Just kicked the crap out of him. It was great. But then we got a whole new threat rising up. Am I confusing that with regular Spawn? I might be confusing it with regular Spawn. But it was still fun. I just remember it being fun. But anyway, Gunslinger Spawn number 9. Is it going to change the world? No. Is there going to be anything super important that happens? Probably not. But it's going to look good and it's going to be action-packed. And that's all that matters. Cover price on it is $2.99. I'm just getting cover A. And that's it for the indie books on my list. So those are going to cost me $3. That one. It's going to cost me $3. And we're looking at a grand total this week, before that variant that I told you about, of $49. That's before taxes and before my 10% subscriber discount. So that means I'm going to be $10 over budget this week because I'm definitely buying the B cover for Milestones in History number 1. I mean, I got to do it. So, I don't know. I'll hold out a tip jar or something. Somebody give me $10. Help me out. But yo, what's on your pull list this week? I want to know, are there any books that are on my list that you're super excited for? Something that you would cut out to make room in the budget? I mean, I guess I could just not buy the A cover of Milestone. I'm not doing that. I'm buying them all. Look, what's on your list? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, Organic Price Books is having their summer sale right now until June 30th. There are a lot of books in that sales section. Use the link in the description below. It'll take you right to it. And everything there is an extra 14% off when you use the coupon code BJKicks Summer Sale. Yo, that's it for me. I hope you saw something you liked in this video. And if not, hey, that's cool. You can always buy what you like. Just make sure you read what you buy. And be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.